We are at the Republican rally on the river. We've got a lot of great candidates coming out today to share their message, but I always like to say, when people talk about sharing messages, that they're sharing with regular citizens not only what they're going to do, but to give people a chance to get to know them on a personal level. With me right now is John Fleming. Thank you so much for being on there.
Yes.
Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
And I hear you're running for treasurer. Is
Yes,
that correct?
Exactly. Yes.
Awesome. Well, real quick to catch some people up, what was your previous position?
Okay. Look, years ago, I was a practicing physician. I still practice from time to time. Then I built up companies. We still employ over 350 Louisianans. But I then served for 8 years in Congress. And then after Congress, President Trump appointed me to lead the Economic Development Administration. And then later brought me over to the West Wing of the White House. I was Deputy Chief of Staff, working with Jared Kushner and Mark Meadows.
This is pretty amazing when you hear about your history, you know, that not only are you a doctor and a businessman, but you're in the White House working on economics, and now you're bringing all that experience to Louisiana.
Right. It's a huge skill set that I think I've, both in the private and public sector, that I'm bringing hopefully to Baton Rouge. I want to work with our new incoming Republican governor and really turn this state around. Instead of being first in everything bad and last in everything good, it's time that we come out of the basement and we begin bypassing states around us that are already beginning to soar, using the best practices, cutting our taxes, cutting our regulations, and really putting a sign out open for business once again in Louisiana.
You know, I like a lot of things that John Schroeder did as treasurer.
Right.
You know, and I don't want to, you don't necessarily have to highlight those, but are there things that you want to continue with that he did?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, we want a very robust program when it comes to returning assets, unclaimed assets, to citizens. We want to continue and enhance that program. Number two, there are Democrats who want this seat so they can invest taxpayer money into ESG and all the kind of woke, crazy left-wing investments where there's nothing but money lost, no return on investment. So we've got to protect the taxpayers' income, the taxpayers' money that they send to Baton Rouge, because it's so precious. We just don't have enough. And the way to have more is to invest what we have properly, but also to lower the tax rate so we have more and more commerce and activity in this state that will build our tax basis. And remember, Donald Trump did this in 2017 with the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, where he cut taxes across the board, and the people who did the best were people in the lower income tier. So that's what we need to do for Louisiana.
I always talk about freedom and liberty on my show. I think it's freedom's one of the things that's under attack in America.
Definitely.
Particularly economic freedom.
Yes.
As treasurer, what will you do to help economic freedom here in Louisiana?
Well, to protect the taxpayer and also protect the accounts, President Biden has already initiated a bank digital currency, a central bank digital currency, which is going to give the IRS a lot of transparency into day-to-day transactions. It's clear the 87,000 new IRS agents are intended to go after the middle class and the small businessmen. And so my job as treasurer is to protect the citizens in terms of their privacy and where they can invest their money and how they run their business. That's not the business of government.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing all this with us. And any last comments on this event today?
Just happy to be here. Look, let's get the humidity up a little bit more, right?
No, exactly.
This is consummate Louisiana.
This is just a couple months before the election.
Right.
You know, imagine how hot it's going to be.
Oh, I know.
You know?
In many ways, that's so
true. It's going to be hotter than that.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for being on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Everybody else, please not only share the video, but share this with John Fleming, because it sounds like he's really on some good things for us. And we're going to have some more interviews here coming up. Thank you so much.